On today's episode of One Stage at a Time, we talk about the last level of Doom, Unto the Cruel. We also talk about Pokemon Direct and the announcements made about new games in the Pokemon franchise. We talk about Anthem being abandoned. And how is GameStop stock still a thing? It is, and we talk about it. And be sure to stick around where we announce a new game at the end of the episode. So be sure to stick around for that. Welcome, everybody, to One Stage at a Time, the podcast where we're playing through video games every single level, not skipping a single damn level. We are at the end of Doom, the final level in Ultimate Doom, the second last level of this damn game, Unto the Cruel. I am Aaron Neeson, and I'm joined by Andy Prim. Hello, Andy.
Hey.
And we are joined by Sam Ingersoll. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Gentlemen.
Here we are.
Let's talk about Doom.
You know what, guys? I can't believe we haven't killed each other by this point. We've played a lot of freaking Doom.
Finally
together.
Over.
I
love Doom, but it's over.
It's one of those things where like this, and this happens every game we've played. For me, I'm like, it feels like it's been this huge long slog. For us, it has been, but these games weren't meant to be played over the course of 37 weeks. These games were meant to be played like in an afternoon, maybe a couple weeks long or something.
Yeah.
Like we have thought about these games way too much, like to the point where we're just like done with them forever when these are classic games that people keep coming back to.
We've ascended to like a higher level of consciousness. We're just like focusing so hard. Did you guys ever watch Mighty Max when you were kids?
Yeah.
There's this one villain in Mighty Max who like he had like an evolution gun and he would like, turn people into like cavemen and shit. And then he turned it around and used it on himself and advanced his own evolution, had like a big, throbbing brain, but like he like couldn't handle it. So he just like disappeared. And then he came back in a later episode and he was like, I've finally learned to master my big throbbing brain. And anyway, that's all an extended metaphor to say we are that guy. And by studying Doom so closely, we now have just like big throbbing telepathic brains.
Just throbbing Doom brains.
What's the name of this invincible villain that had that? I can't remember his name.
He
Angstrom Levy.
Yeah, Angstrom Levy. And he went one version of him had that because he went through all the different dimensions. Spoiler alert, and then he found the different. It was like I remember him hopping through dimensions at one point or something.
So he collected all of his. He could teleport. He could jump through dimensions. This one version of him could. So he went to all the different dimensions, got all the versions of himself, and he was going to transfer their knowledge into his brain so that he could safely jump from dimension to dimension because it wasn't safe to do that. Because he didn't know what each one was like. So he was collecting them all, which is a weird, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that was his plan. And then Invincible came because the Mauler twins were there and the Mauler twins are bad guys. So Invincible came, was like, the Mauler twins are up to no good and was fighting them. And they were going to kill Invincible. Again, spoilers for the show probably, but whatever. And they were going to kill Invincible. So Angstrom, while the procedure was happening, was like, no, stop. And he took the thing off and the machine exploded and it killed one of the Mauler twins and his Angstrom's brain got all fucked up and he didn't remember right. So he became evil thinking that Invincible did that to him.
That's right. And he had like clamps keeping his head together and stuff. I remember like in his drawings.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
He became like a real twisted villain. That shit.
Oh yeah. I remember he did a couple of real fucked up things.
American McGee probably wrote that arc. It was so twisted.
It's super dark.
Well, today, as Aaron said, we're talking about E4M8 Unto the Cruel. And like all missions in episode 4, the title comes from the Bible, a book you might have heard of. And this particular quote comes from Proverbs chapter 5, verse 9. Lest thou give thine honor unto others and thy years unto the cruel. So it doesn't mean a lot out of context, does it? It's just another line that John Romero just plucked out of there and was like, oh yeah, this sounds really cool. We're going to put this in Doom now.
These 3 words in this line sound really fucking cool.
So the music track is Demons on the Prey by who else but Bobby Prince.
Yeah, and familiar.
It was designed by Sean Green, who we've seen once or twice before, but only in episode 4. He was one of the many employees at id Software that got roped into doing episode 4. And as we discussed previously, he later went on to work on the greatest game of all time, Daikatana. There's only one official secret in this stage, although there are several other things that could be considered secrets, but for strange reasons are not. And as far as enemies, we've got a bevy of them. We've got 14 Lost Souls, 5 Caco Demons, 14 Troopers, 7 Demons, 13 Imps, 7 Specters, 48 Sergeants, 11 Barons of Hell, and 1 Spider Mastermind.
So he returns.
He or she, I mean, you don't know.
They return.
They return. Yeah, they use singular they pronouns. But, well, anyway, here we are. This is it, the final level. And what do you guys think of this level? I mean, like, just broadly speaking, do you think it is a good final level for Doom?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna just kill some shit level.
Yeah,
it's really that's nothing else to it. Nothing really difficult. No big crazy secrets. Just a lot of shit to blow up. I used quite a bit of I ran out. So I almost never use the BFG, and I actually ran out of ammo and had to go find more ammo in this world, in this level.
Yeah, it's funny because like I also don't normally use the BFG, and I ran out of ammo also. I got kind of like frustrated because like the BFG generally is like a big like, oh fuck moment when you whip it out, right? But this one, there's just like so many of those damn shotgun guys that you're just like, I wish that they would have been imps because I would have had more fun, like blasting them away with like bits by bits with rockets or something. But you had to use the BFG, or those shotguns are just going to tear you apart. But yeah, no, I was the same way. Like usually I'm pretty stingy with my BFG, and this time it got spent.
Well, what did you guys think of this opening area where I made use of the BFG, and who else but Big Mac Davis did as well? But so right from the opening area, we step out into this kind of wide courtyard, and there are it's like a half circle ring around a pit of lava. And then there's like an island pillar in the middle with a bridge going to it. And then just like 50 shotgun guys just surrounding you on all sides.
What I like about it is you go down these steps and you open a door and you just hear a cacophony of like it's like there's like 100, probably not 100, but there's a whole shitload of shotgun guys, and they're all making the shotgun guy sounds.
Yeah.
And your instinctive reaction is just to go, wait a minute, and let me always just wait a second here and back up and go back up the stairs.
It's like the unnerving low background moaning from all those George Romero Dead movies.
Yeah, but like 1993 sounds that overlaid over each other, and somehow like when two or more are playing at the same time, it increases the volume of all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. It was fun. It was I like it when you've got a kind of like line of sight, a lot of enemies.
Yeah,
and there was a bunch of that in this level.
I agree, and I'm realizing that like when it comes to Doom, I enjoy satisfying and fun gameplay a lot more than I enjoy like challenging gameplay.
Yeah.
At this point, fighting 50 troopers isn't that big of a challenge, but it is pretty goddamn fun.
There were a few placements of the Barons of Hell that were almost bullshit. Specifically, where you open the key doors, because they're so close, it's kind of hard. You just get a green fireball to the face. Yeah, but few and far between.
It's like the brands are like hiding in a broom closet, just waiting for you to open it.
Surprise, motherfucker! Sorry, I kind of just reminded myself of an old meme and had to laugh for a second.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Oh, I forgot to go back over here.
Okay, sorry, Sam, describe for the listeners at home what you're seeing now.
So after you kind of mow down the big room of shotgun guys, I think it's a teleporter that takes you into like a big open room with like a river of like blood lava in the middle. But there's some stairs you go up, and you can go kind of like there's a left or right situation. And I remember looking to the right, and it's kind of a pit full of blue bad stuff. Well, is the blue stuff bad? The blue stuff's not bad. Yeah.
No,
right.
it actually, yeah, I thought it was, but then I went down into it. I'm like, oh, I'm okay.
But there's lots of pillars with stuff on top of them and then the other side was just kind of like going inside. And I totally forgot to go back over there. I just realized when I played this, I remember seeing it, but there's so many enemies that I like. I was like, we're waiting on you. There's nothing over there. We're waiting on you. And then I finished the level on accident. Forgot to go back. So I don't even know what's over there.
Fortunately, it is all optional, but there's like
there it is.
It's like this weird little blue lake with all these pillars sticking up from it, and each of the pillars like can be lowered down by interacting with them. And I thought it was going to be one of those puzzles where you have to run fast to like land on the tops of all of them. They're actually too far apart for that. You go up and press the interact button, and they lower down, and you can just grab all the items that are on top of them.
Did you spend a lot of time trying? I spent a good not 5 minutes, maybe like 2 minutes trying to run from pillar to pillar.
Oh no! Actually, I just remembered I didn't try it ever. I figured it out immediately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have too.
I was like, I can do this. I can make it happen. I believe I can.
No, I tried 2 or 3 times, and then I was like, I wonder, and I tried interacting, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot easier.
I was like, when the first one came down, I'm like, okay, it's only going to be like 2 of these, and then you got to jump to the rest of them or something. But no, all of them come down, no problem.
What was the guy who made this again?
Sean Green.
Sean Green. Not Seth Green. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about like, it really feels like, did he do much before this?
Not really.
Because it really feels like, again, like his other level, like he's kind of figuring stuff out. This is like a level of like, it's, you know, like he's got the driving student sticker on his computer.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's competent, but like, it feels like he's figuring things out, you know, like with the pillars, they're all just there to lower.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing too complex in the level design. It's kind of symmetrical, like, you know, split down the middle. The more I think about it, the more it feels like, like a competent, but definitely feels like, you know, he's learning, you know, he's learning how to make some levels with this one.
I think that's possible, but like I honestly just my read on this was that it was like, okay, we're just gonna make a level where they're God and they can just punish everything in the damn level. Like we're gonna end it with them being the most biggest swinging dick in hell. Like, I guess because they threw all the health at you, they threw all the weapons, all the ammo you could ever possibly need, and like unless there was no QA and like he just turned it in, like this had to have been what they wanted, right? Like.
Well, in my mind, it's like John Romero comes up, like, yeah, he's like patting him on, like, that's great, Seth. That's really great. It's a really great level, Seth.
Yeah. Well, except it's Sean and not Seth.
So fuck yes, yeah.
Seth,
even in my
really
head,
good
I
episode
said
of Robot Chicken.
I love these final once you beat the game screens are always great.
Yeah. So there is like another beat the game screen here. The final one in the original Doom. And Aaron, do you want to go ahead and read this screen for us?
I would be happy to. The spider mastermind must have sent forth its legion of hellspawn before your final confrontation with that terrible beast from hell. But you stepped forward and brought forth eternal damnation and suffering upon the horde, as a true hero would in the face of something so evil. Besides, someone was going to pay for what happened to Daisy, your pet rabbit. But now you see spread before you more potential pain and gibbitude as a nation of demons run amok among our cities. Next stop, hell on earth.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. That's all the story you're going to get in episode 4.
Daisy's canon. It's canon.
It's canon.
For all the jokes, Daisy is canon.
Well, I guess if you consider episode 4 canon, which I'm not sure if everyone does, but nevertheless, Daisy is there, and Doom Guy has avenged her and is apparently also carrying her head around as some kind of sick trophy.
Yeah.
Well, I took this to be like right after he got back, like this, like being right after the picture that we saw before, you know, with the city burning. I just assumed like he's like, no, and like,
yeah,
he started his rampage.
He just picked it up and he's like sidetracked. He's looking over to the right here. And and he goes off just to murder, just on a rampaging murder fest, and then like, oh right, humanity, and goes back over.
And apparently that's where the events of Doom 2 Hell on Earth pick up.
Yeah. So they tie it in more than I thought they would.
Yeah, they kind of bridge the gap. Because they say the spider mastermind must have opened the gate to let all the demons onto hell. And I assume that the particular spider mastermind they're talking about there is the original one that you fight at the end of Inferno.
Yeah.
Or it's possible that this is the same spider mastermind and that it repaired itself somehow. But that like before you deal the final blow in Inferno, it somehow opens the portal to Earth. And then because Doom Guy gets transported back to Earth too, but I guess all the demons did as well. But who cares? It doesn't really matter. It's a Doom story.
I mean, like I don't like they say the spider mastermind, but like there might be multiples. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Or you killed it and you sent it to hell and it popped back up because it went to hell.
Well,
hey, what happens when you kill something in hell? It just like teleports like to the left.
They go to super hell.
5 feet to the left, going The Doom Guy's just standing there. He like super shotguns one, and he like falls to bits, and then he just shows up next, going and Doom Guy just kind of stops and like turns and does it again.
No,
he gets hung up in purgatory, killing the same Baron over and over again.
It just keeps coming back.
He says nothing. He just turns and shoots him every time he shows up.
Yeah, he never gets tired. He never gives up. He just keeps killing them over and over. Well, I had a couple other questions I wanted to ask you guys. We've seen the Spider Mastermind before. We encountered it in the Inferno in the final episode of episode 3. I mean, the final map of episode 3. But what do you guys think this is a better or worse confrontation with the Spider Mastermind compared to when we saw it back in episode 3?
I would say worse. Not that it's bad, but it was just like it was not a challenge at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I never got hit once by the one in this one, and I remember it being not hard, but just like I was a challenge. I was having to like run around and like wait for him to shoot and then come around. I don't know if I used the BFG for the first time, the Inferno, or not. But I just shot him like 3 times with the BFG.
Yeah,
I didn't even see him. I missed most of his animation dying because I was just around the corner.
Yeah. I don't know if I got hit by him either, just because there were too many other enemies around. Like, and I just kept on. I just spammed the BFG at him. Like, it's like fuck you, die, because they gave you all the ammo and all the weapons.
They do.
And there are like 4 Barons of Hell in that room and a whole bunch of other like specters and imps and cacodemons and shit. But the BFG, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is like a press the fire button and let God sort them out situation.
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is what I mean. Like when I say like they just wanted you to feel like God, like you're just this murder machine.
Yeah.
That's what you are. Like we're watching Big Mac Davis do this, and I'm like, man, you are wasting so much energy here. Just pull the trigger, buddy. He's running around the whole map over and over, like getting. I don't know. That's not how I did it.
He's like going for efficiency or whatever, trying to explore everything and demonstrate, how you can fight it like optimally. But you don't have to. You can just run in and just spam the fire button.
Yeah, normally I say that if Big Mac Davis is doing it a certain way, that's probably the best way to do that. And not in this case at all. Not at all. Hard disagree with you, Big Mac Davis, on this one.
Well, in terms of a final level, how do you think the level itself stacks up against the final levels of episodes 1, 2, and 3?
Well, see, you say final level, right? Because a few of them, the second to last was better. I think we agreed, right?
Yeah.
I think it's okay. It's
at least a level where when you compare it to like 2 and 3, those aren't levels. They're just maps. They're like arenas to fight the boss.
Yeah. Like, it's okay. It's like, it's a 6 or a 7, not a LA 7.
I think it's definitely better than 2 and 3. The ending level of episode 1 is actually kind of cool. Like aesthetically, it's like you're going down those stairs and like the platforms are raising and like the big star comes up and the Bruiser Brothers come out of those shutters. But I was thinking how cute it was that like we thought the Bruiser Brothers and those 10 invisible specters were actually difficult back then.
We've come so far.
It feels so quaint, like looking back at that. Like it's like, aw, hey buddies.
we were such children back then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that one is probably, as far as the level goes, it's probably the best just for like the cinematic feel of it.
Yeah.
Like the presentation was very cool, and it's so early in the game that like that shit that fucking rocks. But like I'm a big fan of last areas, like letting you just like feel like the biggest badass. Like I'm a big fan of like there being a big challenge and then the game like rewarding you with just like you becoming a murder machine. Like I talk about Gears of War a lot. In the Gears of War games, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like in Gears of War 2, like at the end you get control of a Brumac and you're stomping around fucking kicking ass. At the end of Gears of War 4, you're in a giant fucking robot just going pew 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 and shit. Like it's fucking great. Like so. But before that, they had big challenges, like a boss you had to fight and shit. Like, and then came like your reward of being a god, and like that was pretty. So I dug this. I really dug this. I was like, yes. After all that bullshit Romero put us through earlier in this episode, this is great. I loved it. I loved it.
I pretty much agree. I think this is a really fun stage, and like it is an actual stage. Like there's stuff to explore here. There's something kind of interesting. There are 2 totally discrete halves to this stage. Like they're not linked at all. You just teleport between them. And there's not a lot of stages like that in Doom. Usually, like, even though you're teleporting around, there's ways to like walk from one end to the other, like once you open up the right doors, but not in this case. You can only get between the 2 halves by teleporting. And there's like a few different ways to teleport back and forth. So I just thought that was kind of interesting and a unique feature of the stage.
It was. I was a little bit frustrated not being able to get to that one ledge. Like you can see in this area here, like there's a ledge with ammo and that invisibility. Because I didn't know where that teleporter was. But that's fine. I didn't really care. That's fine.
Did he just, in that area with the pillars, are the night vision goggles in there?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I know. It's so random.
They literally put everything. It was in this level. Like literally, everything you could pick up looks like it was made it into this level.
Yeah, there's no point to the night vision.
The
goggles.
Greatest
so
hits, man.
Yeah, it's like, all right, that's all the Doom you're getting.
Give him the Berserk pack. Give him the computer map. Give him the ammo backpack.
Honestly,
everything.
The only thing that was missing was a cyber demon. If they had put a cyber demon in, that literally would have been everything. I think
it feels like a missed opportunity too. Like have like 2 cyber demons and 2 spider masterminds. Just really throw everything at us.
Yeah, it was. It was a fun level. Definitely on the better side of episode 4 levels. But you know what? I had a great time, Doom, but I think it's time to see other people.
Yeah. I finished this level and I'm like, well, I was holding off on playing Doom 2 until we finished this. And I like looked at Doom 2, like I have it. I looked at it, I just stared at it for like 10 seconds. I was like, I'm not fucking playing you right now. Maybe in a while, maybe in a few months, but not right now.
I've played a little of Doom 2, and it's pretty cool. Like you got the super shotgun, which is great, obviously, but it does kind of feel like a chore. Like the stages just get so big and so complex. It's kind of like when you're playing like a turn-based strategy game, like Fire Emblem, and like at the beginning you're like, oh, this is so much fun. Like all the maps, they take like 5 minutes, like they're little bite-sized chunks. Then by the end, the maps take like 2.5 hours and you're just so bored. Like you look at it and you're like, I don't even want to start this map because there's like 5,000 enemies that I'm going to have to kill.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun to me.
That's why I never finish Fire Emblem games. I get like halfway through and I'm like, all right, I'm bored now. Well, I guess we've said about all we need to say. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. Did you guys find the one secret?
No, I did not.
Yeah, which one was the one secret?
So the only thing that counts is
the one at the beginning.
Yeah, it's at the beginning. Sam mentioned the ledge earlier, and like I found that, and there's a couple hidden doors in the Spider Mastermind's room. One has a BFG, but the only secret is this one little alcove with a body in it, right in the beginning in the little lobby here, and it just opens a secret door with a chain gun and some health.
You know,
I did find that. Yeah, I found that.
I didn't, but I checked a different alcove with the body in it just to see if something would happen, and it didn't happen, so I just moved on.
Yeah. Well, you know, Doom does have some totally random ass secrets. Some are better than others, like some are telegraphed, but there are some that are just like totally random. Like, how would you know that unless you knew that was there? Just a wall that's totally nondescript that has nothing unusual or strange about it that would call it out as a secret. And if you're a fan of totally nondescript walls that have no indication whatsoever that there could be something hidden behind them, then boy, are you going to like the next game we play on this show.
Oh, geez. Well, my instincts kicked in on this one. Like on this level, like I killed those two imps and I'm like, that can't be all there is to this room. That can't be the case. So I went and humped the walls all around. Actually, that's not true. I humped that wall first and I was like, oh, that worked. Cool. And it would open up the thing. So then I humped the rest of the walls after I got that stuff.
Your humping instincts were so good that you immediately knew what to hump.
They were on point.
But also your greatest strength is your greatest curse, because once you started humping, you couldn't stop.
Someone please help me.
Sir, I can't stop, sir. If you could just
come on, man.
Sir, please stop, sir. I'm looking for secrets.
Just one more thing, sir. I really need to find this secret before I finish the stage. Sir, did you have the BFG on that night, sir? Sir, why did you have the night vision goggles on top of the pillar? I can't figure out that one thing.
Oh, that's right. You said you needed them for killing cackle demons. That's right.
That's a really nice chain gun you have there. You could commit a lot of murder with that chain gun, couldn't you?
Can I ask you a question about this chain gun? You see, Mrs. Columbo has been asking me about chain guns, and I've been thinking about getting her one. Can you tell me how this works?
Yes, that was everybody listening. That was a Columbo riff. We were doing there was a Columbo riff. That's
we're
what
just trying to stay.
That's what just happened.
We're just trying to stay topical.
On this podcast. The dead ass Peter Falk.
Oh, dude! R.I.P. to a real hero, Peter Falk.
Oh, I love Peter Falk. He's amazing. I love Columbo. He's amazing. Go watch The Great Race if anybody wants to see some fucking awesome Peter Falk. But Jesus Christ, he's been dead for 30 years or something.
It's been that long.
I don't know when he died.
Like 2000s, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, 20 years, whatever.
Yeah. He's been dead for a while.
Almost.
All right. Well, I really can't think of much else to say about this stage. That's probably why we were just doing Peter Falk impressions for the last 5 minutes. But maybe we should wrap it up here. And there will be no stage next time. However, we will. Should we? I guess let's give the schedule for the next few weeks. Next week we'll be doing kind of a wrap up episode where we talk about what were our favorite stages from Doom. What were our least favorite? What weapon did we like the best? Who knows? We'll make up a list of superlatives to talk about, and then we'll kind of break it down and say what we think about the game, and see if we can find some reviews from the time when it came out.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Maybe some other bullshit too. And then the week after that, we're gonna do Doom the movie Annihilation. I think.
Yep. Yes, I'm like, you have to say it.
Yeah. I would prefer that we didn't, honestly.
We have to. It's the rules. It's the law.
It'll be like the movie version of episode 4. All over the place.
A bunch of dumb bullshit.
And we wish we hadn't have done it.
Yeah. The whole time we'll be like, why are we here? What are we doing? It'll be great.
Can we just watch Dread instead, please?
Just pretend that he's Doom Guy. I know he was technically already Doom Guy.
He was.
Well, yes. Okay, but then after that, we're going to be starting a brand new game. Should we go ahead and announce what our brand new game is, fellas?
Do it now or at the end of the episode. I don't care when.
I don't know. What should we do it now? No, end of the episode.
Okay. right.
I've decided. End of the episode.
All right. If you want to hear what the next game is going to be, listen through the next 25 minutes of bullshit, or just fast forward to the end. It's your choice, folks. All right. Well, let's talk about some of the gaming news from this week. One of the funniest, most Schadenfreude stories that I've seen in a while is the news that they are no longer developing Anthem. That game is officially dead. And I gotta say, that's so far out of my wheelhouse that like I don't actually know all that much about the game. So you can fly around like Iron Man. I was wondering, Sam, have you played Anthem? And if
God,
so,
no.
Okay. All right.
There's a reason why. It's because I don't know when it started, but everyone, it's we're getting to the point where, you know how like people rebelled against loot boxes.
Uh-huh.
Starting to happen with games as a service, kind of looter shooter style gameplay. So
Thank God.
it's like Marvel, the Avengers game,
Uh-huh.
and Anthem. It's like people are trying to just get with like put low effort in. I mean, I'm not trying to say they put no effort into a game like that, but like when there's so many of them, you can't just make one that's like has all the stuff that everyone else has, right? You got to like do something that's better and like something new that like catches your attention, you know? With like Square, they made that stupid Marvel game. They're like just the most boring, you've done it a million times gameplay. They were leaning heavy on the fact that it was like, but it's got all your favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I never played it. I only knew one person who played it. It not only is it like failed so hard, but EA has backed off of BioWare and is letting them is basically they're not going to put multiplayer into the next Dragon Age.
Wow.
They were trying to put that they put it in, they forced it in on Inquisition so they could do loot boxes and that whole mechanic that every EA game has to have.
EA sucks so hard, and they always have. Like even back in like the NES days, EA just sucked, and they've always been bad.
Oh,
they were
I don't back when it was Electronic Arts. Like
from the beginning, they were all about like. I mean, take it how you want it, but like they were a business first. You know, like that was kind of like they showed up like. But you know, there's a heritage of we're game makers and artists that was before a lot of like, you know, Nolan Bushnell types that came in and were like, you know, fuck you. I don't care about you as a gamer. I care about your wallet, which is, you know, it's a business. You know, you can be pissed at that, but that's like, you know, like being mad at a tiger for having stripes, you know?
Yeah.
But eventually the wallets will rebel like Anthem. And then good things happen. Well, it was a mix of Anthem was crap and no one played it and they dropped it. And Star Wars, the Jedi game that came out recently.
Right.
That doing extremely well. So like maybe people want single player content.
Yeah.
And then everyone, all of you like, yes.
Well, I remember like Anthem, like what you were saying, like struck such a chord with me about like they're trying to just sort of do everything. And like, but like everything else that everybody else was doing. Because I remember the first time I saw anything for Anthem, it was like just sort of, it was a still, it was an advertisement, but it was a still. And I looked at it and I thought, that looks kind of cool, I guess, but it also is it's shovelware. This has to be shovelware, right? Like this is just a copy of what other people are doing and they're shoving it into a game, right? I thought that it was just such generic, like Master Chief looking characters and like sci-fi shooty game, like that. I was like, this has to be just a crap game that they're trying to cash in on what everybody else is doing already and think is cool, which it turns out it kind of was, but it had a lot of money behind it. I was expecting it to be, because it was a still, I was expecting it to be one of those things where you see that and then you go in and it's some like shitty like 2D or like isometric sort of game that they made with characters that sort of look like that.
At the very end is on iOS and Android.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. And then, but you know, like, and I was actually kind of bummed when I heard that they were completely, because it's on Xbox Game Pass. So I was like, I'll give it a shot and check it out. Cause like, watching some of the gameplay when it wasn't a buggy piece of shit was like, oh, that looks like it could be kind of fun because it is like you flying around like Iron Man. And I would fucking want to be Iron Man. Who doesn't want to be Iron Man? So like I was kind of bummed. I'm like, oh man, maybe they could have made it a good game. And then when I played it, it could have been a good game. But you know,
I mean, they're already the market's still flooded. Like the Marvel game's still going, but it's slow. That's going to die off eventually. Godfall came out on PS5. No one's talked about that since it launched. That's going to fucking die. And Square just released this Outrider game. Like that's going to fucking, I was watching people play and like, same shit. I mean, it looks like they put a lot of work into it, but it's the same thing you've seen a million times. Like, you know, you pick a class and you level up and you have you can craft infinite crafting opportunities. Like, you know, it's the same shit that Ubisoft does with the Assassin's Creed games now, except it's a part of it, not the only part of it. Like I just recently got Odyssey. It was $25 for like the big, huge fuck off edition.
Yeah.
And it's still fun. I mean, it's the most removed from an Assassin's Creed game I've played yet. I don't even know if there's assassins in it. A guy hired me to assassinate someone, but that was as close as they got. But it's still cool. It's still like really cool to take your boat around and explore. And like I'm climbing up walls and shit, but it doesn't really make any sense because my character is not an assassin. But they also have like, you know, the same idea where like it's a mix of like it's really like the evolution of like, let's put RPG mechanics in this everything. Like I was talking about, I don't know if I was talking about that before on here, but so they pivoted to the action RPG, to Diablo, where it's like all the loot is randomized and it's all rarity drops.
Oh my God.
Like that's what all these games are. So like Anthem, it's all about your different guns. You'll do like there's infinite side missions. It's another thing they have in I just choose not to do it, but in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like there's market boards that have timed side quests with rewards that are on an infinite loop. Like they're always going to be there. They're just randomly generated. So it's like that kind of idea is like they want you to play the game forever, so you might buy some currency.
Right.
You know? But there's just games that do it better.
It's a bad game, and yeah, I'm not even a fan of that style of game. And just like listening to like, I don't know, everything about that and like the way it's made just makes me like deeply sad about the state of the games industry. I just hate this shit so much.
The problem though is that there are some people that have done it really well.
Yeah,
like Destiny, they've kind of fucked up a little bit recently, but they kind of almost jump started this idea of like, because it was. They wanted to make a first-person shooter RPG, like almost like an MMO, I guess. But that game is really, really fucking good. And I think a lot of these people, specifically Anthem, was kind of like riding on those coattails a little bit. But
they see like one good idea, and I guess there's money in it. And like, wasn't Final Fantasy 15 experimenting with that? Like they were saying we're going to keep doing like DLCs, you know?
Not really. I think the idea for that was just for a Final Fantasy game. It was a departure in the sense that they were having all these, not exactly. It was more like we're going to take the story and spread it out all over the shit, so you have to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
Whereas these Anthem games and like specifically like Destiny, which they're all aping, is like they do expansions kind of like MMOs, where like you'll play the story. Like, you know, I bought Destiny 1, I played the whole story, and then like you've got all these characters in this world, and it's like, okay, here's $25 and you get like a whole new zone with a whole new set of stories, and like here's some new skills. So it's like a MMO style of like expansions.
Yeah. I feel bad for the people because I did see a few people on Reddit that were like, oh my God, I've spent $150 on this game. They can't be shutting it down now. I've invested so much.
Fools. Everyone that plays any of those kinds of games needs to know, no matter how good it is, it's going to go away no matter what. So be ready for that to happen. It could be tomorrow. It could be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, should it all be caveat emptor, or is there a place for regulations in the games industry for things like that?
For shutting down, or like for like spending
just to
money.
just to protect consumers a little more. I mean, like with loot boxes, it's been talked about, like, should there be like a regulatory board that, like curtails practices that are like too predatory?
I think there needs to be a board that regulates not like a person spending money, but the things that the gaming company is doing to try and get you to spend money.
Yeah.
Complete unregulation, it's like, that's, then every game's going to be like fucking Simpsons. What was that Simpsons fucking game where you like
Bart's Nightmare?
No, it was on iPad. And like you had like, it was like the whole Springfield.
You were in donuts and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like that shit where you're like, pay money to play the game. Where like you get locked out and everything's time gated and you have to pay money to get rid of the time limits.
Oh, God.
Listen, I'm just gonna say it. Everybody's dancing around it, have been for years. We need to nationalize the game industry.
There it is.
So I'm just gonna say it. We need to do it.
Nationalize EA.
Yeah, power to the people, man.
All the
Gloves to the
Japanese
people.
all the Japanese companies are just like, no, fuck you.
Fuck me, fuck you.
Europe's kind of already taking care of it in a way.
Yeah, they are.
With more than just gaming, like social, like digital consumerism, I guess, in general.
Yeah, it seems like their laws are a lot stronger over there.
But if I think EA is getting kind of a slap on the wrist, American style, so to speak, where people are like, we're just not going to fucking buy your shit because it sucks now.
Money talks, man. It always has.
That's what usually happens with this shit, is that they push so hard, and not just them, but everybody else pushes and makes subpar bullshit that everyone gets burnt out on it, and no one wants to play those games anymore. So they stop making them.
Yeah.
So that's what it seems like that's kind of happening, is like a little rebound on that. Hopefully, because I mean, it's just been burnt, like failure after failure after failure of those kinds of games that are supposed to be like these big, huge IPs, and they're just okay and forgettable.
That's so true. I'd really like to see more of a return. And you said that like maybe EA is going to give Bungie like a longer leash, after this, but like I'd love to see a return to like single player games being like the norm instead of like kind of unusual.
I think we're on that trend. I really do. I think I think it's slow and steady, but we're probably heading that way.
That's good.
We're at least we're like, there's not a forced in multiplayer version and everything. Like I'm down with some multiplayer games, but I don't need it in everything that comes out.
Yeah.
It's not necessary in everything.
That's so true. And I don't actually like playing with other people. So multiplayer games are just a slap in the face to me.
Because didn't they was it Mass Effect 3? They added multiplayer in it, but like they tied some kind of stat to it that you couldn't get the best ending or all of the endings without playing online with other people and filling up that whatever bar it was.
Yeah.
I never played it, but
Mass Effect 3 is a great game. Love it. But yeah, when it first came out, which I didn't play when it first came out, and I think they fixed it later on.
Oh yeah.
You had to play through play a bunch of the multiplayer in order to get your galactic readiness to a certain point where you got the best ending. And where
games are bad. I'm depressed today, guys. Games are just so bad.
You just got to pivot. You got to pivot to indie games, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where all the shining light and creativity is.
Dude, that's so true. I was playing Hollow Knight earlier today and I was like, oh my God, this is just a breath of fresh air. It's so good and so beautiful, and it's not shitty and not just full of stupid bullshit.
Hollow Knight is a tight game. That game is fucking tight.
I end up going to I end up watching, not playing, and then of course, as soon as I find it, Northern Line, who we've talked about a bunch of times, is also playing it. But both the two roguelites that I recently was looking into getting, he's playing, which is Loop Hero.
Okay.
Did I talk about Loop Hero last time?
Is Loop Hero where you take the Metro Link down to Del Mar, you go see a movie at the Tivoli? It's a little bit of St. Louis humor there for you folks.
It's a deck building auto battler where you're on a loop and it's automatically, your guy just keeps walking around it, but the cards build up different terrain, and you can do they don't tell you, but you do like secret combinations of things. So like you can put a village down that heals you when you go through it. But if you put a vampire mansion on it, he takes over the land and corrupts it. But after 3 loops, it becomes he becomes good and like it heals more. So it's like all these secret things that are in it. It's really cool. And then there's another one.
Does the vampire just decide to be good after a while?
I don't know. Well, there's some lore to it. Like there's a whole story. Like the basic idea is like something happened and like all of reality got destroyed and you just kind of awake and like you're slowly like the loop you're on is all that exists and you're like building up reality again.
Oh, it's like Snowpiercer. You're just going around and around and around.
Kind of like Soul Blazer.
Oh fuck, I love that game.
Yeah, it's like
now
Soul
you got
Blazer.
me interested.
But it's roguelike, straight up roguelike, and it's really, really fun. Watch some of his videos. He's got like 3 or 4 videos on it. But the other one is really fun. It's almost like a board game. It's called Fights in Tight Places, where it's like silhouette, 3D silhouette. So like your character is all black, but like his necktie, his like collar is white, and his neck you can see his necktie and stuff. And
so
your car
is it silhouetted like Limbo, kind of how that's all silhouetted.
Not exactly. Kind of almost like a little bit like Super Hot, but not 3D, like polygonal, I guess you would say.
All right.
But it's all turn based, and you have cards like Haymaker, Long Kick, and you're doing like a kung fu fight in a small room. But it's all turn based, and you can like push people and like into it. Like so, if a guy's gonna punch you and you push him to the right, and he's in front of his own guy, and he'll punch his own guy. Into the Breach is another game that's kind of like that. It's like chess card game, but you go through a map and pick random ways to go and like get little bonuses and stuff like that. But like it's like super single player, unique. I can play it a million times. It'll be different every time I play it. Just a little breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's so true. It really is true that indie games are like the best part of the games industry nowadays.
And they blow up big. Like Hades is an indie game.
Yeah, Hades is huge.
And that's a huge thing.
Hollow Knight was pretty big. Shovel Knight was huge. Let's shift gears a little bit because I know Aaron is dying to talk about the Pokemon presentation from this week. Kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really even expecting it because we had a direct not that
close
long
to
ago. Yeah. But this was all Pokemon, and they announced a few interesting things. There's remakes of Diamond and Pearl coming to the Switch soon. They showed some more stuff for Pokemon Snap, but the most interesting and also kind of weirdest announcement was Pokemon Legends Arceus, the open world game. Did you guys see this?
I did, and I also saw Nintendo fans Zelda fans getting all bent out of shape because one scene from the trailer was too much like Breath of the Wild.
That's all that Pokemon fans have been asking for, though. So many Pokemon fans wanted Sword and Shield to be Breath of the Wild with Pokemon. And I think we didn't see a ton, so we don't know like exactly what the gameplay in the open world is like. Like, they didn't show a lot. So who knows if you can use abilities with your Pokemon, if there's much exploration, or if it's just this big wide open place with some hills, or we don't really know. It looks like it could be going that route. Maybe.
What I found interesting was the fact that it's all real time. Like it's not, you don't swipe away to like a turn-based combat. Catching the Pokemon was just you running around. You saw a Pokemon, you throw your ball at it. It all happens out in the world. It looked like the combat was also some kind of interesting action combat, something or other. Maybe even just stopping and fighting there. But there was no transitions. It was all real time, which is very much of a departure from the series.
Yes.
Honestly, it gets me more interested because the only Pokemon I've ever played is Red and Blue. And I kind of lost interest in the series after that. But I feel like the rest of this series, they just get so micromanagey, right? Like you read about how these games work, and there's just so many things you have to think about, like the moves you teach them and which special items you give them. And if you don't level them up in the right way, they can be a lot weaker when they get to higher levels. And there's shiny Pokemon, and there's 15 different types, and they all are good, strong and weak against certain other types. There's just all this meta shit. And then there's 500 Pokemon now.
There's 800 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a series that's not made. It's become a game made only for Pokemon fans.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I disagree. I don't think that that's true. Like all that stuff you're talking about, yes, that exists. That's a thing. People are obsessed with IVs and all that, and maximizing their Pokemon or whatever. But you got to remember, these are baby games that are so easy that you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to pay attention to any of that shit at all. You can just
Donkey had that video where he just beat everything with Grookey's move where he throws the stick. he killed like the ultimate Baron of Hell Pokemon just by like throwing a stick at it.
Yeah, and you can do that, and it's fine. Like, Pokemon is for like enjoying the world and enjoying the Pokemon. Not
doesn't that take away from it then? Like, then what's the point of doing any of that other stuff if it doesn't matter?
Because people are going to be people, man. Gamers are going to do that. They're going to deep dive into everything, and it's a game series that people get obsessed with. Like,
well, and there's like a competitive level too. Like, there's player versus enemy, and then player versus player is kind of a different thing, I guess. Or there's a different meta to it, kind of like with Dark Souls. Like, the building for player versus player is totally different than building for player versus enemy. I guess it's a little like that, although I don't do PvP in Dark Souls, and I definitely don't do PvP in Pokemon.
No.
I've only ever played one Pokemon, and it was X, I think, on the 3DS. For me, and this is gonna sound really up my own ass, but it's the truth. Like, when Pokemon was coming out, I was playing Final Fantasy VII. And I was like,
"You fucking nerd!
I'm
you
good
fucking
over
nerd!"
Here with this game. I think I'm fine with what I got.
Dan was playing JRPGs and getting pussy while we were playing Pokemon.
Mad anime titties. And you guys were squirting something on some tulips. I don't understand.
There was some squirting happening, but
squirt. It's cool. But I want to make one caveat because I get the obsession. I don't like the games, but I understand the mindset because I have the same thing, but it's with Monster Hunter. It's a game that there's not that much difference between each game when it comes out. It's also the kind of thing where you're micromanaging your elemental stats against you have whole sets of armor and weapons to go fight one thing. And I don't expect anyone else to play it. But I understand
this is just for me.
That. But from a gamer aspect, there's so many Pokemon and there's so much knowledge. It was like when I was trying to get into fighting games it took me years to get the balls to actually start playing fighting games, and I still barely play them online. Because it's not just like there's so much knowledge that you have to catch up on if you want to really get into it. Yeah, it's daunting. You can't just play it and have fun and everything, but like if you want to get into it, like if you get your gamer brain itch, it's like maybe next game, maybe next time. It's like it's just so much information that with like fighting games, I spent years just watching streamers play to like slowly just get inundated with like terms, not knowing what it meant. Like they'd be like, "Oh yeah, this guy's got good Oki." I'm like, "Well, okay, Okie dokie. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." Oki is short for Okizime, which is Japanese for I don't fucking know, but it's basically when you've got lots of good options for when you knock someone down to like get ready to fuck them up really quick when they get back up.
And like, isn't there, because there's like a whole meta where like there's different like archetypes for characters. Like,
and
someone tell me something that like there's names for it. Like this guy, like
Shoto characters. That's Ryukin. Anyone that has a fireball, an uppercut, and like a tornado kick. That's a Shoto. No matter what game, it only really references the type of characters in Street Fighter. But if you've got a character in, them's fighting herds that with those same movesets, that's a Shoto character. It gets even crazier with like how people explain moves online. Like there's multiple ways to do it. And the one that took me a while is they use the numpad. So like a fireball, which is down, forward, would be 2, 3, 6, whatever punch button. Because if you look at the number pad, it's down, forward, which was 2, 3, 6.
Yeah.
Some Koreans they used it because there was like a language barrier.
Okay.
Amongst foreign people playing. And it's like of really like if you look online, like, and people just will throw this. Oh yeah, 236 is really good. Six heavy, 6 fierce. Like it's all this. What the fuck are they talking about? It just took me so long just to know what they meant to then start playing. But I still don't feel like my problem now is that I've spent all my time watching people who are really, really, really good. So like, I just assume I'll be trash forever playing the game.
That's what it was like when I was really into chess. Like I would play like a lot of chess and be like, oh man, this game's really fun. But I want to get better. And then I would watch like really high level games and just be totally lost. Like the stuff they're talking about. And I'd be like, I think this move's pretty good. And they're like, oh, this move is so bad. It just completely loses here. Oh, hasn't he studied the 1978 game where Fischer played this against so-and-so? But I guess like the lesson is like, you just shouldn't do that. Just don't watch those high level games. Just enjoy it.
They say
unless you're playing chess games on your ceiling above your bed as you go to bed, like don't even bother.
Dude, every night I take a whole bunch of tranquilizers and just put chess on the ceiling.
You have to like they tell you the thing everyone says is like, just go play, pick someone you think looks cool, and don't get mad when you lose, because you're gonna lose a lot. And like that's the hard thing is like when I play, like Overwatch or something, it's like I'm gonna fucking win. God damn it. That's the reason I'm playing. But with fighting games, it takes a minute. But once you get in the mindset of like winning is fun and good, but the real fun is like it's like chess. Where like you're trying to figure out what your opponent's going to do and get in their head and then fuck them to hell. That's basically what you're trying to do.
You punish them, right?
Because it's
you wait for them to leave themselves open and then punish them.
Exactly, because it's a lot like chess too, because it's one-on-one. Like all these other
zero-sum game.
Yep, and it's just like, and it sucks when you were getting the butt fucking, because when you like you don't realize it until you like go back and watch what you did or play enough games. Like, oh fuck, I'm always doing this move after this move happens. And the really good players can figure that on the fly and then make you suffer for it, because they call it free. It's like, oh, this is free. When they get into someone's head enough that they can just win the match, like, oh, it was a free match. It's free. He's free. You're free. Like when they shit talk, you're free.
Oh man, such bad manners.
The culture is also really interesting. Again, I like internet cultures, and the fighting game culture is very, very, very interesting.
Well, you kind of got to have a growth mindset. I don't know if you guys have been to as many HR trainings as I have, or like, work professional development type things, but they always talk about, you got to have a growth mindset, like
you do.
Don't let your setbacks bother you. See it as a learning opportunity.
That's all it is at first, is just because sometimes you'll fuck someone up and you'll get real excited and your heart rate will go up and you'll feel good. And then you'll get butt fucked twice. Like, fuck this game. So many times it's like, close the game, sit there and pout, and then reopen it up again and play some more.
Dude, I've been there with Smash Brothers and Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's
I remember
fun. It's good.
I was, when I started playing a lot of Mario Kart 8 online, I had to accept that 5th place or better is like a really good performance. Like if I get 5th, I'm like, hey, I did pretty good on that one.
Yep. I'm exactly the same way. I'm like, if I'm in the top 50%, fucking baby.
Yeah.
For me, with fighting games, it's a weird, like where I'm at now is I'm happy. Like my level of acceptance from someone is if they rematch me. Like if they butt fuck me really hard and like don't rematch me, boy, do I feel like shit. It's like I'm not even worth playing again. But on the other end, if I beat someone so bad and I hit rematch and they don't, I'm like, fuck, suck.
Got his ass.
And even if I lose, but if I rematch me enough, I like it, because it's like, okay, no one won enough that they just wanted to keep playing,
Yeah, but like he wants to keep playing. He's willing to give you his time, and
exactly.
Not being rude or unsportsmanlike.
It feels like getting shit on and rude. Like if someone just doesn't, if they kick your ass and they don't replay, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So when I do that,
maybe I won't play anymore. I don't know.
Man, now I feel bad because I just don't rematch most of the time if I play Smash Brothers online. Like whether I win or lose, like I just am like, because I like to switch up my character. Smash Brothers doesn't let you do that unless you back out of your matches, which is
most
annoying.
Fighting games too. You can only rematch like once or twice. You can't just do it forever.
Yeah.
So it's a courtesy thing. It's not really, but it is. It's like if you watch any streamer and someone didn't, they're like, oh, okay, well, didn't rematch, I guess. Okay, that kind of attitude if they don't do it, or if someone's like super lagging, like fuck it, not rematching that guy with some bad
No,
attitude or something.
that's true. Yeah, I'll rematch people in Smash most of the time, unless they're just like being really unsportsmanlike and like, wasting time and
just fucking
just bullshit like that, or like I'll die and then the last two people left just like won't fight and just like let the clock run out for like 10 minutes.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, and you can't
do anything.
Yeah, you can't just quit because then you get dinged for unsportsmanlike conduct because you're still technically in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what the
I'm excited for
fuck were we
Pokemon.
talking about?
All in all, I'm excited for the new Pokemon game. I will be. I'm tentatively. I'm looking for more information. It could be cool. It could be
curious about
bullshit.
A lot of people have been like, just the shit people always complain about, like, no, the graphics don't look very good.
Switch, give it a break.
Yeah.
It's like I don't really care. I heard open world Pokemon and I was like, you had my interest. Now you have my attention.
We're doing something different, Pokemon. Like that's what I thought was interesting. It's like, okay, finally, let's shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time they've done that. It's been really great. Pokemon Snap is a classic. Pokemon Coliseum, people love that game.
Who was it? 'Cause when we were living in the dorms in college, I remember I found a copy of Pokemon Snap at like a Schnucks video rental store that was going out of business, and I picked it up. And like I think it was me and Aaron were like, "Oh shit, Pokemon Snap! I'm so excited!" And then like someone, maybe you, Sam, was like,
"Oh, dude, I did not. I don't understand. I still don't understand that game, man. I fucking waste of time, man. But it's cool that it's there, but like me now, like I can appreciate that stuff a little more. But like back then, it's like you're just looking at Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is this game?
You know what I realized?
I hit him with an apple and he did a little roar at me. It's so cute.
So
I'll see you guys at dinner.
Yeah. You were just totally nonplussed, just like shaking your head like you are adults, like getting excited over this.
You should be looking at anime titties.
But no, I realized what it is. Like it clicked with me. I was watching a YouTube playthrough of like one of those House of the Dead games the other day, and I was like, Pokemon Snap is just like a light gun rail shooter. That's all it is, except you're using a camera instead of shooting a gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same like thing in your brain that makes those kinds of games satisfying. You're just like moving through an environment and just like, clicking on the thing that you want to click on.
Yeah, basically. But it's more adorable. And there are more secrets. There are more secrets you can unlock.
There's so many secrets.
Yeah, which I don't think in Railgun. I mean, maybe there are. You shoot a wall.
Dude, you wouldn't believe how many secrets there are in those Railgun games.
Fair enough. I haven't played a ton of them since like I was a kid and playing through Area 51 at the movie theater.
Dude,
like
Area 51. Did you ever play Maximum Force?
Yeah, I think so. Like a Dave & Buster's.
It was the one with terrorists, and they had like video footage of like actual guys like put into the game. It's like a crappy, dime store actor in like sunglasses, like jumping up, like pretending to shoot a machine gun.
Yeah.
or like a chick in a bikini runs across the screen. And you gotta try, then you accidentally shoot her and you lose a life.
Yeah, it's always sad to shoot the chicks in the bikinis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, carbon copy of Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
you get it now, Sam, huh? You get it. Those sexy Pokemon
running across the screen in their bikinis.
Mm-hmm. The duo just flapping his little head around.
Oh, I was thinking about Jinx.
Oh, baby, those DSLs.
Oh my god!
My God!
My God! All right. Well, I guess there is one more story we should check on today. And that is, of course, the ongoing saga of GME, the GameStop stock. I thought this story was dead. And because I'm a filthy Gen Wire with no attention span whatsoever, I just got bored and stopped paying attention to it. But Sam, what is going on with GameStop?
I mean, I don't know the details, to be honest. Because again, I also didn't pay much attention, but the price went back up. But the weird thing, I didn't go a deep dive, but I couldn't find out why. But the Chewy CEO, who's on the board, posted a Twitter post of a McDonald's soft serve ice cream. And from that point is when the stock went up.
What kind of like QAnon type code is this guy like?
I don't know.
Here?
I saw an article on it and I couldn't figure out. I went on the subreddit and didn't really see anyone talking about it, but like something happened and they all decided, I guess it got low enough and maybe something with deep fucking value said something. I mean, he testified to Congress and apparently was throwing out memes during the
he was just saying, I like the stock over and over.
Something about, I guess there's some meme amongst them about him being a cat or something. Cause he was saying like, I am not a cat. He said at one point. And like, I like the stock, and that's what everyone was cheering, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, Aaron, that's the correct look you should have in this regards.
Just totally befuddled.
So like I heard, I haven't read too much about it for a while now, since probably the last time we talked about it. But like, I remember seeing somewhere that basically possibly the same hedge fund. I don't know what happened with that, but like they were like, I guess they thought that everything had cleared. Like everything was over, everything had settled down, and they started shorting it again. I think that's the little blurb that I saw.
They just never learned their lesson.
So, like, I'm sure Reddit
there were lots of memes of how many times we got to teach you this.
That's right. Yeah, I remember seeing that meme. Yeah,
it's like in Age of Ultron where Stark and Banner just can't help themselves. Like after they make Ultron, they find the Vision's body and they're like, we should probably destroy this, but maybe.
What if we tried again? It can't go wrong this time. But yeah, no, that's what I saw. I saw somebody being like, oh, they thought that it was over, so they're, betting against it again. So fuck them. Let's do it again. And here we are. I don't know anything about the ice cream. That does.
That's some random article I saw.
Never heard of the old strawberry ice cream machine, Aaron?
No. This is sherbet short is what they call it.
I'll tell you about it when you're older.
Okay. Do it in Columbo's voice, please.
Peter Falk will explain. Sir, there's just one more thing. If you could tell me what's a strawberry ice cream machine. Mrs. Columbo's been asking about it, and I really have no idea. If you could just show me what that is, I would really appreciate it. And while you're at it, I got a whole list here of things maybe you could help me with. Filthy Sanchez, Rusty Trombone, Glass Bottom Boat. If you could just tell me what all those mean, I would really appreciate it.
Oh, I see. So I put the cellophane down first. Then I shit on it. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clearing that up
that's what I was doing wrong.
My wife, she's going to be very pleased with this. I'm going to go buy some chili first. Then I'm going to go home. He eats the chili at the restaurant all the time. He goes there and the guy's like, Chili Columbo. And he's like, yeah, give me the regular chili.
I got to make sure I eat a lot of chili before I try the Glass Bottom Boat.
It really helps.
This is unfortunate that we're doing this again.
You can cut this entire riff.
No, it's staying in. It's staying in, everybody. The world deserves it. That's going to be the name of this. It's going to be the name of this episode. Columbo's Glass Bottom Boat.
This is the last episode of One Stage at a Time.
You're not getting out of Doom Annihilation. It's not happening.
Well,
one Columbo at a time will be taking its place.
Yes, we should absolutely do like a episode by episode watch of Columbo.
Yeah, my wife would listen to that. She doesn't listen to this. She would listen to that. I got her a Columbo cookbook for Christmas.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Does Columbo cook?
No. Well, like he makes like one dish. Like he's like, I make eggs good. That's what I do. I'm a terrible cook. My wife, she's a good cook. I make killer scrambled eggs. But like, there's lots of dishes that are on the show, like pop up on the show just randomly, and then also they bring in guest stars, stuff that they've cooked, like in other shows, or I don't even know, at a blog or something. I don't know, but like these people go episode by episode in this cookbook. and like pick something that a guest star is associated with or was featured on the show or something like that, or has some association with the show, just tangential, like they go to a dock, so here's some clam chowder or something, like.
So there's an entry in the cookbook for every episode of Columbo?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of impressive.
It's a big cookbook.
No, it's not too big, so probably not, but definitely there's a lot of them. Anyways, it's called Cooking with Columbo, and she loved it. It was a great gift. I really nailed it that time.
Well, I got my partner recently the Redwall cookbook, which that's also quite a banger.
Nice.
A lot of nuts and fruits.
Yes.
Those books had lots of food descriptions.
He's like George R.R. Martin before George R.R. Martin, like as far as like food descriptions go.
Yeah,
a lot of honey, a lot of nuts and fruits. I remember a lot of fruits and nuts,
and occasionally fish, but mostly they're vegetarians.
I heard someone picked up maybe HBO or something. They're going to do like a movie or
Netflix.
Show
I think is going.
Yeah, I think it's Netflix because I was like, I can watch that.
Yeah,
that was the first time I got. That was my first experience with like collecting. I read 2 or 3 of the books, but I would buy whatever new one was in the book order and never read. I had like 12 of them. Only read like 3. I think I read Redwall, Matthias the Warrior, and whatever one came after that.
Yep. I've got a few on my shelf right now. I like borrowed a lot from my cousins that had them, and I would get them from the library sometimes too. But that first one is really good. And my partner just read it, which is why we had Redwall on the brain. But then I found on YouTube, they've got the old show that was on in like late 90s or early 2000s. It was like a Canadian show or something. And it's kind of rough, honestly.
It's very much cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon. Like not even the good ones, but like those weird, like David the Gnome and where like nothing really happens and it's not really action packed or anything.
And it's of that era, like early, computer assisted animation where you can tell they're taking a lot of shortcuts using, what computer stuff they had at the time.
You're like, I didn't really, it was a lot cooler in my mind when I read the book.
Yeah.
Some of them were cool. Some of them I was like, this is pretty dry for being talking raccoons and shit, but
but you nailed it on the head. It's a lot like PG-13 Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there's lots of killings in those books.
No sex.
No, it's
weird.
implied.
Damn it! No mouse sex.
They do like have kids, from one book to the next, so you can read between the lines.
No one's whipping out their 6 titties or nothing.
Okay, well now we gotta find some fanfic, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I am. I can guarantee that's gonna have something.
It's 1,000,000,000% sure that is out there.
Not gonna have to look very hard.
All right. Was there anything else we needed to say about GME before we wrap it up today?
Not really. Just it's still around.
Yeah, it's still around. Hey, I props to those guys, those blessed idiots who are still buying GME stock, just throwing their money away. Just
diamond hands, baby, diamond hands.
Diamond hands. I think Sam is like furiously Googling dirty images of Redwall characters.
He's uploading them, is what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm drawing
from his personal archive. All right. Well, but before we wrap it up today, one last announcement. Aaron, do you want to tell the folks at home what game we'll be playing next?
Next up, you all can look forward to us exploring Dracula's castle in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the PS1 classic, right? PS1, that's what first came out on?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the PS1 classic.
And Sega Saturn. Yeah.
And Sega Saturn.
Yeah. Which
Castlevania
we'll talk about.
Yeah. It's a Metroidvania, but technically it's just a Castlevania because it's Castlevania, baby.
It's the reason Metroidvania is a term.
Yeah, exactly.
Super Metroid, Symphony of the Night. That's their powers combined, they Captain Planeted the term Metroidvania, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an exciting game to play through. We haven't done a game of this type. It's going to be challenging for us because it doesn't chop up into levels very easily, but we're going to do our best to figure it out, and we hope that everybody joins us. We got 2 episodes before that starts, though, so get excited and come back for the next 2 before we start Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
That's right. Come back for the next 2. And Sam, do you have any words of wisdom before we wrap up today?
Don't buy GME stock.
There you go. Don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
You don't need any.
And Aaron, what do you want to say to the folks at home before we finish up?
I want to say thank you, everybody, for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out. Please go to onestageatatime.com for more of our episodes and links to all of our socials. We post some fun stuff sometimes. And I want to thank you, gentlemen, for playing through this game with me. And I'm looking forward to next week where we do a recap.
Yes.
Andy, give us that sign off, baby.
Save and continue.